Phillipsburg Town Council meeting, October 4th, 2022. This video is a presentation by Richard Colasuonno regarding building senior housing and a grocery store at the old Norton property in Phillipsburg, New Jersey. The old Norton property is located at 540 Marshall Street, and it is also in the area of Heckman Street.
So since I still have the floor, sir, you have the floor to present your project.
So, my name is Richard Colasuonno. I've been a developer in New Jersey 35 years. Okay. I want to thank you, board members and mayor, for allowing us to present this project here. First and foremost, I need to, and I want to thank the mayor for giving me the idea to put in senior housing and encouraging me to also put in the grocery store. So we owe it all up to him. Okay, all I did is put it together. Okay, but the idea for the grocery store and the housing came from the mayor. Now, this is the site plan. Okay, and you all have that. In the brochure there, and you have, it consists of 3 buildings that are already standing right now, okay, that you see at the Morgan State. These 3 buildings are 2-story buildings that exist there right now. We're going to add 1 story to each building. Okay, each building is going to consist of 15 senior apartments. We're going to have, in each floor is going to have 3 studio apartments, large studio apartments, and 2 one-bedroom apartments. This here building is where we would like to put the grocery store with 2 floors of senior housing above it. They're going to consist of 1 and 2 bedroom apartments, and approximately 6,300 square foot grocery store, which is essential to this project and to the neighborhood. There's a high percentage of family households that don't have the means to get to a grocery store that is a mile away. They need to be able to just walk outside within their community, go to a grocery store where they could access fresh fruits, vegetables, instead of eating out of cans, okay? And meats, fish, and that's what we're going to put down here, okay? We have enough parking. We have 64 parking spaces right here, okay? And an additional 38 parking spaces right in front of the grocery store, which, according to ordinance, we are above what we really need, okay? We're going to go in front of the land use board and ask for a use change, okay, in this particular B2 zone. The B2 zone allows for retail, okay? It allows for everything that's in the B1 zone, which is churches and bowling alleys, which I don't think would benefit this particular area. I think this is the best way to develop this property, which has been vacant for 11 years. Okay. Thank you for the insightfulness of the mayor. This here will take place. We will go forward full steam ahead, okay, with your blessing, okay, and your encouragement, okay. So this is the site plan. This is you have 3 buildings with a courtyard in the front. This is from the different angles of the building. This is from the top. Okay. This is how you're going to have a studio, large studio, and single family. I mean, single bedroom. The building is going to have its own elevator. Each building we're going to retrofit an elevator into each building. This is senior housing, okay? We're going to need to make it comfortable for them. The other component be this is a grocery store. Okay, the grocery store, with parking in front. Okay, with 2 stories of residential above. The first story is going to be all in stone. That's what we predict, and the rest is in siding. After the siding, they're going to look like beautiful buildings for the neighborhood. Okay, and well needed. We need the housing. We need the senior housing in this area. And it was expressed to me by the mayor, other people that I interviewed, that looked at, and they all agree. Okay, senior housing, grocery store is what we need. Any questions there?
Sure.
I can't read the street.
Excuse me, sir.
Where is it?
What is the average rent? for
The average
senior
rent,
citizens?
the studio is going to be approximately $1,000. Okay, for a 1-bedroom is going to be approximately $1,200. Now that could change, but it's not going to change much more than that. Okay, we don't want to do a low-income neighborhood, okay, development. However, we want to make it accessible to the people. Okay?
I could say as a retiree from the federal government,
Yes,
that's my pension, almost.
that's your pension. Yeah,
Yeah, so that's
It's-
kind of sweet in this area.
I understand that. Okay.
And that's over 30 years of work. I mean, we gotta get some kind of break if you want the seniors to go in there. I'm talking as my perspective. If I want to give up my house to go into an apartment for
Correct.
seniors, that's a lot of money.
I mean, unfortunately, the problem that we face is with the cost of rising, the rising cost of construction, it makes it completely unfeasible to have any kind of rent lower than that, without doing some kind of tax credit or
Pilot
low-income
program.
housing or something like that.
We're trying to avoid that.
Right. I mean, it's literally impossible.
See, I don't know what Social Security gets because I get federal pension,
Sure.
and we can only collect one. I mean, that's a lot of money for us older people that worked under the federal government.
I understand that.
Certainly.
The market or grocery store that you're proposing, do you have anybody in line?
Yes, I'm meeting with them at 9:30 tomorrow.
Okay. We're in discussions with a couple different people.
I'm not against like privately owned or operated, I was just curious.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, like a franchise.
As of right now, we don't have a franchise.
Well, yeah.
We have a private, he owns 6 other small grocery stores of this size. Okay, that provides what we want to provide. Okay, we don't want to just open up a deli where they sell soda and a couple of cereal boxes and canned foods. We don't want that. We want a full-fledged grocery store that has fresh fruits, vegetables, pastas, and different things that people should have. Okay, instead of just depending on a Wawa or depending on wherever they go. Okay? Not that I'm pushing down Wawa, just that we want to provide something that is well needed.
That's it, it's right there.
But again, it's a combination of residential, mixed use with the grocery store. And that is it.
That was my only question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Council Vice President?
Thank you, Council President. I just want to first start off by thanking y'all for this great presentation. I want to thank the mayor for putting this together. This is exactly what our community needs. Now, I live right up the street on Heckman, so I live right up the street from there. So I make those walks down the Wawa when I have the time. And every time I pass that property, it's an eyesore. It's just sat there for so long. Back in early August, me, along with Housing Commissioner Derek Lewis, we wrote an op-ed on the importance of accessible, nutritious food and tackling the food desert that Phillipsburg is. We're 44th on a list of 45 according to the NJEDA. So this is exactly what we need. This is what we need to bring to our community. Because ever since Ahart's closed down, we haven't had accessible food. And we need, and I'm glad that you brought up the fact that you're looking to do more than just a deli, canned food. Bodegas are nice, but we need fresh food here in the community. And you picked an amazing spot for this because you have 3 buildings right there. It's right in an area where there's affordable housing, so it's easily accessible for all those folks right there. And I know $1,000 a month can be a bit pricey for folks, but this is New Jersey. $1,000 for how many rooms?
Well, it's
One
just
bedroom, you know,
for the
one bedroom
start.
studio apartment.
1 and 2 bedroom.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to find a deal like that anywhere in the state. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
And we respect what the
Of course.
commissioner said, and we understand, but, you know, we as developers also have to be understood. If we want to, you know, keep the prices low, then, you know, we're gonna have to go and get funds for New Jersey Housing Finance Agency. It takes forever to get
Yeah,
funding.
it's just not really what we.
It's not what
we don't have.
want.
We don't have community
Of
experience
course.
doing that kind
And
of
that
stuff.
triggers pilot programs and all these other incentives, that puts an immediate burden on the community, on the,
And it takes a lot.
Of course, and I just have 2 questions to follow that up. So for a project like this, if it were approved and everything, what's the timeline that you're looking for, development, construction, that sort
well,
of?
that's it. You know, that's why we're here, okay? We need your aid, we need your encouragement, not push, not to avoid, you know, zoning rules and, you know, we don't want any of that. We want to follow, we're going to eliminate any variances that could be triggered, we're going to try to eliminate. No, we just need your encouragement, we need the mayor's encouragement and everyone else here to say, listen, let's push this with every standard that is applicable to any development. Should be applicable to this, okay? Again, we're going to further design this so that there are no variances or as few variances, and it, you know, we'll make adjustments. We have to lower the density of the residential units. We'll do that, whatever we have to do. Some of the units are smaller than, I do a lot of development in Allentown, okay? And they like to see 500 square feet, okay? But in something like this, it's impossible to do that, okay? It's gonna be a little shorter than that, a little smaller than that. That's why these studios and 1 bedroom and then above that, I mean, if you say to me, listen, we're gonna put 3 stories above that. Now there's more leeway, okay? But then we have to provide the parking that we're just, the parking is just above what we really need.
Yeah, the issue that we're gonna run into here is, right now it's zoned B2, which doesn't allow for residential. It's on the fringe. You have multifamily residential zone across the street on 2 of the 4 sides of this property. But you know, this specific site is technically still zone B2, so we need some relief from zoning for the use. As far as parking requirements go, we are covered for both the retail and the residential component. For the senior housing, you need 1 spot per residential unit. We have that. And for the retail, my interpretation of it, I took the worst case scenario, which is 1 spot for every 200 square feet of retail space, as well as 1 spot for every employee during a peak hour. And we're covered in that space, in that situation as well. You know, the issue that we're handling is obviously the use variance that we're going to need. And, you know, we, I believe there was one other one. I'm blanking out right now. What was the other variance?
And just the parking we're covered and,
Yeah, I'm not sure.
variance.
I think there was another, I think there was an additional one that, you know, we went through and, you know, we might need some help with, you know, through zoning, might have to ask for variance.
I mean, if we needed to address the financial feasibility of this here, this from the renter's perspective, get around that. I mean, however, there's going to be an impact on the, instead of going 1 parking space per, we would have to go to like 0.75. Allentown is 0.375.
Get a BC zone.
0.375. This here, we're going to abide by what the rules are here, what the ordinance describes, and that is 1 parking space per
unit, senior.
unit. And that's what we're trying to do. So it isn't that we're asking for favors here. We're just presenting what we're doing here.
Of course, and then my last question. Now, the NJDA is offering incentives for grocery store developers in food desert communities. As I stated, Phillipsburg does qualify for these incentives. We just need a developer. Would this apply to the grocery store, or could this help with the financial cost for the grocery store
I
development?
believe it's just for the grocery store.
Yeah.
And I believe it was brought up to me by the director of Housing Authority.
It is just for grocery stores, because it is for a food desert community, which Phillipsburg is, as Mr. Clark had mentioned. So the NJEDA does have grants. They just opened up on Monday to be able to start the project and get some of the groundwork completed.
So we would definitely get some more
That's
information.
something that we need to address. I mean, it has been designated desert area, okay, which means that, say, 20% of the households in the general area don't have the means to travel outside more than a mile to get food. Okay, so that's why it's been designated that, and there are programs to help that. We haven't, gotten into that as of yet. It was presented to me by that gentleman there, and we're going to look into it and get. We didn't even plan on getting assistance,
Yeah.
neither from the community or from the state. We could just do it basically on our own. But if there is more incentive, that's great.
Well, thank you all very much for presenting, and thank you, Mayor, for putting this together.
Yes.
Ever since our last grocery store closed a few years ago, there's been a public outcry how much we need a grocery store.
Sure.
And especially you have fast food places taking the place of that. Across the way, there's a proposed quick check where we had bowling alley or a bowling alley. And I've heard nothing but public outcry how we need a grocery store. And I think everybody up here agreed we need a grocery store. And I also serve on a land use board. And everybody on the land use board agrees that we need a grocery store. So this certainly is welcome news, and I hope we can work out the details and make it happen.
That we could get together and do that. Okay. Very cool. And again, I thank the mayor. It was his idea. I mean, I would have never thought of a grocery store. I was kind of leaning towards senior housing, but he brought it to my mind. I mean, I didn't even say a word. And then he goes, well, how about a grocery store? We need a grocery store. And I went, and we went.
Yeah, we looked up, we did some research, and, I looked up on the USDA website. I was like, I wonder where the closest one is, and it showed that it's, like I said, it was food desert, right? So it was something like, so, and I think the stat was like 16% or 17% of the families in the area are, low income and no access to transportation. So, yeah, it seems like it'd be a good fit.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, great project. I'm glad to see that you're very interested in moving forward. Great project, and good luck with it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you so much. I'm sure you'll have support.
Thank you.
Thank you.